G'day, folks, and welcome to another episode of Encounter Down to Live. It's great to have you here with me tonight. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic show. It's great to have you with me. Before we get started, I've got to do my usual little, my blabbery stuff. Look, don't forget, guys, to share this podcast out wherever you think it is. Go and listen to the podcast on your favorite platform. Go and get on it. I know you all do. You love it. I hope you do love it. Anyway, it's good to have you here anyway. Don't forget, we do have the new online store there to go and check out. There with some great products there. Some great little designs and stuff like that. So go and check that out if you haven't already. I think the link in that one here that's going up through the chat here is the wrong link. So I've got to go and pull my finger out and go and fix up. Yeah, it's the wrong one. That's the red bell one. So I'll try and go through that at the show here. I'll put the proper link up for the new online store. So anyway, check that out. Check that when you get a chance or whatever. Force you to do it. But anyway, I think we'll get stuck into this tonight. I think there's not much more I can cover here, but all right. But tonight's show, we do have Thea here with us tonight. She's going to be joining us tonight, obviously. She is the the founder and the organizer for the Cardwell UFO Festival, which is just north of Townsville, in between Cairns and Townsville. So it's a small little town, and it's just had its own little bit of history there. So I've got Thea here joining us tonight. G'day, Thea. How you going?
Hi, how you doing?
Going good. Thanks for joining me tonight. It's absolutely wonderful having you here tonight. And
Yeah, that's okay.
It's absolutely been amazing. Like, I've been wanting to try and get to this UFO festival myself for the last few years now, but just every time I try and get it, work's always scheduled on. So it's like, nah, I'm not going to get there, unfortunately. So, but look, obviously, this thing has obviously had a history now. Like, you've gone on 10 years for this whole festival now.
Yeah, 10 years. I was a bit surprised after we were packing everything down last year, and then the realization hit that the following year, which is this year, would be our 10th anniversary, and it was amazing that we've actually been around for that long. I think at the beginning, the very first year that we did it, everyone sort of thought it was, a bit fun and, just something a little bit different. But it was, we got such a great response from it that we thought we'll put it on again, and then we were thinking we might do it every 2 years, but we've just been putting it on annually, and it's working out well. So, yeah, so we'll keep it going for as long as we can.
No, that's fantastic. Because, like, obviously the town's got its own little history regarding UFOs as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it has. So I think one of the main, shall we say, unexplained phenomena that's happened in the area was what's coined as the Tully nests. I think everybody knows about those, and they're just north of Cardwell. But when we started to put on the first year of the Cardwell UFO Festival, the reason that came to be is because there was a sighting very close to when we were talking about putting the festival on of what us locals call the Cardwell lights, and they are two lights that fly across the sky, like parallel with each other, and fly across the sky and then just shoot up into the sky. And many locals have seen them over many decades, and we've just called them the Cardwell lights. And so then when we were working out putting this festival together, it really came just from a town meeting. So Cardwell was founded in 1864. So in 2014, it was marking 150 years of settlement. And so we decided that we were going, to put something on for that. So we had a town meeting, and we realised how we wanted to showcase the town. We wouldn't be able to jam pack into one weekend. So we actually did 10 separate festivals that was sort of each festival was related to some component of what we wanted to showcase for the town. And it just so happened that in that week that we were discussing what we were going to do, a couple of locals had seen the lights in the sky. And so that was obviously a topic that people were discussing, and then in the whole crowd of people that we had for this meeting, people putting their hands up and saying, yes, I remember I saw this, or my uncle told me about this, or my grandfather told me about this. And it was then that I thought, yep, this is, because the conversation went for a couple of hours, just with the group of people that was in that room. And so I thought, well, I think that we're onto something. And I quickly Googled and found out that Australia doesn't have a UFO festival. So I knew that we had to claim it.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, because it's such a random little town to go and have such a festival like this. Like, you wouldn't even think driving through it.
No.
I've been through it myself there, and I went to the rock pools up the back of where you guys are, and it's an absolutely beautiful area up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice little beach. They're overlooking the islands and that. Just got to watch out for the crocs. That's about it. But
Yep, that's it.
it's still a beautiful little town to go through, and it's like, who would have thought to have a festival here of all places? Like, you'd think it'd
Yeah,
be somewhere like, even Townsville or Cairns itself, but
yeah,
you guys are
yeah,
smack bang in the middle there, and it's like, yep, we're claiming this. That's
yeah.
I've got to hand it to you.
And
That's absolutely wonderful.
yeah, and it's interesting that you say that because logistically, trying to put a festival like this on in a tiny little town is quite challenging.
Oh,
Especially
imagine.
like, yeah, we're in the throes now of getting our speakers to come up. So of course, people have to fly into somewhere like Cairns or Townsville. Then we've got to get them from there. For another 2.5, 3 hour drive to Cardwell. Then we've got to get the accommodation for them. So it logistically it is a little difficult to put it on, but yeah, but we'll get it done.
Oh, that's awesome. Like, so do you get like funded from the local council?
Yeah,
That'll
the
try and help you
local,
get this.
yep, yep. We have funding from the local council. We have funding from our local bank, the Bendigo, the Cardwell and District Community Bendigo Bank, and we also have funding from Churches of Christ, which is another organisation here in Cardwell. And all three of those have been major sponsors for us for every year that we've had the festival. And if it wasn't for those sponsorships, we wouldn't be able to put the festival on. And then, of course, we've got our local businesses. We've got accommodation houses that are helping out with discounts on accommodation. Our restaurants and cafes that are helping with vouchers and things for the speakers. So it's really the whole town coming together to help showcase the town. So the idea is that obviously we're showcasing different things that have happened, unusual things that have happened, but it's also helping with the tourism of the town.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a bit confusing there. You had to mention the church is getting involved in this with sponsoring as
Yeah,
well. You
yeah,
wouldn't think a church of all places to go and sponsor a
yeah,
UFO phenomena.
it's everyone just supports it. It's really good, and we've also got another church. When we were smaller, we had our forum in the smaller church. In there, yeah, it was really interesting. We'd have the forum on the Saturday in church, and then on Sunday they have their service.
Yep.
But now we've moved into the community hall for the forum because we've just grown. Yeah.
Yeah, no, look, either way, it's wonderful. Like, it's great seeing that the community all gets together to try and help
Yeah.
out together. And like, it's not the only festival you have, is it?
No, we have quite a few festivals. We have a Volksfest, which is the Combies and Little Beatles,
Oh
which
yes,
is good. Yeah, yeah. And then we have Seafest at the end of the year. It's it really showcases the sort of the fishing, and the sea life of the town. And so that festival ends sort of the whole year of what we do. So we have what else are we doing? We're doing a bike and boat show. In a couple of months. Yeah.
motorbikes.
So
I take it.
well, I wanted to have motorbikes, but it's mountain bikes. It's because we're building some bike tracks up in the back there. Where
Oh
the
yeah.
spa pool, where the rock pools are
Yep.
that you saw. Yeah. So up in the hills there, they're building
Okay, so it's
some
gonna be like
mountain bike
those
trails.
downhill.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yep.
yeah. But my son's into motorbiking, and yeah. Anyway, but it doesn't matter. Two
Yeah,
wheels, it's
I
fine.
don't think the motorbike's gonna get past to go and be able to go up those mountains there. It's
No,
little
no,
national park
no.
link.
Yeah.
But either way, like, they're still wonderful. Like, you guys have got a lot of
Yeah.
effort into making this town something known on the map. It's
Yeah.
absolutely fantastic, and like to even like go and like put a UFO thing on there. Like it's such like I'm sure as like the whole UFO topic is
Yeah.
very stigmatized. It doesn't get a lot of
Yeah. So,
great vibes, but obviously
yeah.
I'm sure you got a lot of positive vibes about your
Well,
festival.
it has been a hard road
Okay.
to keep it going. Initially, when we did the first year, everyone thought it was quite fun and funny and everything. And we had a few people giving us a few jibs about everything. But then as we've grown, there is a very small group of people that continue to say, it's embarrassing for the town and all this sort of thing. But overall, the majority of the town is extremely welcoming for everyone coming
Yep.
to the festival. And I think that's because we have a lot of, second, third generation people living here. So people have grown up with these, stories from families, or they've experienced things themselves. So they're quite open. They're quite
Yeah.
open to listening, to what people have to say without the ridicule.
Yeah. That's this funny thing, like, as you were saying, like, you had people in the Congress there, organizing this whole thing there, talking like, next minute someone's going, "Oh yeah, I remember seeing something. There's zero of my
Yeah,
grandfather's." Like, there's so many people along the lines that
yeah,
have seen something, and yet it's still got that stigma attached to it, like thinking everyone's like a crazy person.
mm,
And that's the hard part of trying to get your head
yeah,
around why people think it's such a crazy
yeah,
topic to sort of even indulge on.
yeah. And what I found is that, I mean, because I've had my own experiences with different things. So obviously, you don't put a UFO festival on if you haven't got some connection to something.
Yeah,
Um, so, and what I found over the years is when people say, "Oh, he's just being silly" or whatever, there's nothing. My question to them is, knowing that the universe is massive,
yeah,
huge, and that there are other planets and solar systems and everything within the universe, um, you know, there has got to be something else. We cannot be the only planet with life on it, and
yeah,
intelligent life. So, and when I sort of come from that angle, you can see that they think, "Oh, yes," but then their question is, "Well, why would they come and visit us?" So,
yeah.
and for that, I don't have an answer.
Yeah, I don't think anyone really has an answer on that one yet.
Mm,
Like,
yeah,
people claim they're coming from everywhere or around the
yeah,
universe or wherever they are, and it's like, well, but why are they here? Why of all places to
yeah,
come here? We're such
yeah,
a sort of primitive civilization in its own way,
yeah, yeah.
where we're only still only just touching on space exploration as it is.
Yes, yeah, and
So like,
it's really interesting. I mean, everyone has their own views, I guess, but I remember when I was a very young child, and I still to this day remember this dream that I had, that Earth was a prison colony, that we are actually you know left over from a prison colony. That's why we were all sent. And I remember in this dream, and then other people have said it was actually a vision maybe that I had, but being a little child, I think it was just a dream. But I think I did tap into something with that. And because when you look back at all the older civilizations, they all honor the skies, and they all have gods that come down from the skies. So I think there really is some connection there.
absolutely,
Mm,
especially when, yeah, like you're saying, like the old ancient civilizations, there's
yeah,
always something there that in their ancient texts or some sort of story,
yeah,
something has come from the sky
yeah.
and has
And
some sort of form.
they all honor the sky and
Yeah,
respect, and have a lot of loyalty and respect to whatever it is that's coming from the sky.
yeah,
Mm.
which is, yeah, it makes you really wonder what were they seeing or who are they in
Yeah,
contact with.
yeah,
And look, there's obviously been some sort of relationship with these entities, beings, whatever you want to call them, throughout their civilization, through our civilization, I mean,
mm.
where they've sort of played a role too, and sort of like either guiding us or
Yes,
something like that. Like, I don't know how deep you want to get into this, but it's
yeah,
it's quite intriguing. And when you think of like what's um you look at the pyramids, you got the Mayan temples and sort of stuff like
mm.
that. I think I pronounced that right. Probably.
Yeah,
Then you got the Aztecs temples, all these different temples everywhere in the world, so old, and like how can they have built something like this in
yeah,
such a primitive, ancient sort of tools? Like,
yeah.
as far as
And
we're aware, they
the
had
precision.
iron and the precision. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
It's like how can they do this with these tools that they've been provided? There's got to
mm.
be more to this. Either they didn't build it and they've just come along and claimed it,
Yeah, yeah,
and it was something from a civilization prior to us.
yeah,
That's something that was way more advanced than what we are, and these things are just outlasted time itself basically till we've sort of come in.
yeah.
It
I mean,
makes you
you
wonder.
look at today's modern architecture and infrastructure and buildings. I mean, they crumble in a couple of decades, or maybe 100 years they might last. But you look at all of those, like you say, the pyramids and all of that. They've been there for centuries.
Yeah,
Mm. It
and
is
there's and then
amazing.
and we've only just touched the surface on those pyramids too. Like, I don't know how true much of the stuff I'm seeing on Facebook and that,
Yeah,
but they're diving deeper into
yeah,
these pyramids and that, and they're finding stuff that's further down, and they're
yeah,
sort of like realizing that there's more to these pyramids than just a triangular block of bricks,
yeah,
basically. So it's like,
yeah.
well, what are these for?
Yeah, I
It's
think
not
I
a
saw a
tomb, or
I
it's
saw a
not a tomb for pharaohs either. There's more to it.
yeah, yeah. But I remember I can't remember where I saw it, but I saw like I guess it's like an artist's impression of the pyramid is just the very tip of
Yeah,
what could be down below, which is pretty incredible. It's a fascinating topic, isn't it?
it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
And like you can go on for hours on these things, and
yeah,
like you can go down a different paths here and a path
yeah.
down here, different holes, so many different wormholes, and it makes you wonder, like, well, which one's the right answer? Like,
That's
I
it,
follow.
isn't it? Yeah, because I find myself doing that. I'll start, or people will send me things or something, and then I'll start, on one track, and then it sort of veers off onto something else, and then you veer back over, and yeah, you can spend hours. I've been up till like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning looking at, different things, and then I realise, oh, I've actually got to get up in a couple of hours.
Yeah. And the
you
worst
know?
part is you still don't get an answer.
No, no, all you get is more questions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's pretty much it. And that's what I find really intriguing with this topic. Like
yeah,
people are saying all these things around the world, like they're having some sort of experience, whether
mm,
it be with beings or some sort of craft and that. And yet it still gets shunned upon the world and
yeah,
secretive and all sorts
yeah,
of stuff. But yet, how can you deny hundreds of thousands of people around the world
yeah.
seeing something that's phenomenal that defies our own capabilities?
Yep, yep.
So
It
it
is
makes you wonder.
it is amazing, and I don't understand why more people don't even just embrace it to ask the question
Yeah,
instead of just shunning it.
that's
Like
right.
I think when you ask questions, I think you just have a better I don't know being I think about yourself instead of just poo-hooing things and saying no, 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 no. I think asking questions is a fantastic way to live your life. I think.
Oh, definitely. But then, yeah, you
Mm.
still get no answers.
Yeah, I know, but that's the thing is that you just want the answer.
That's right. But then if we do get the answers, then we're like, well, now what do I do?
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh,
okay, yeah,
there'll
cool.
there'll be
But
something else. There'll be
I'm
something
hoping
else
so.
we can find.
Then
Yeah.
we go on start going to Yowies and the paranormal, I suppose.
Yeah.
Start
Actually, that's
questioning
one
there.
thing. If there's anyone listening to the podcast that any of the Yowie hunter groups, we'd love to have someone come to the festival if they're able to get here and yeah, because that's one component of the festival for the unexplained phenomenon things that we've
Yep.
we've been lacking in the years. So we've putting the call out that if there's
Yeah,
any of the
absolutely.
groups that want to come along, yeah,
Yeah,
we'd
nice.
be
Now,
more than happy.
yeah, absolutely. That's gonna be awesome if they do like get a bit of a mix happening. So
Yeah,
now you mentioned that you sort of had your own experience as well. Do you want to sort of enlighten us with that?
yeah, yeah. So I guess I mean I had that dream or whatever it was when I was very little. But when I think I was about 6 or 7 years old. I'm thinking I was 7 years old. We, as a family, would always go over to one of the islands over here for Easter and camp. And we'd camp with, a couple of different local families and things, just depending on what people were doing. And I remember I was up late. I couldn't go to sleep, so I was up late with the adults, and we were all sitting around the fire. All the other kids were asleep, and then we saw all of us, adults and myself, saw this light fall from the sky into the ocean. And I remember my father and another man, who when I talk, he's still alive, but when I talk to him, he doesn't want to. He says, no, 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 that didn't happen. That didn't happen. So I don't want to say his name. Um, so they went to get into the tinny to go and see what this thing was. As they got down to the shoreline with the tinny, this thing just came back up out of the ocean. And so they come running back up the beach, and they were all like, we can understand something falling down, but the going back up is what
Yeah.
they couldn't fathom what was going on. So I remember my mother wrote to what was it called then? It was like the weather people in Cairns, to ask if there was any unusual like meteor showers or anything like that, and there was nothing reported for that night. So she was very proud of this letter that she got back from them, saying that what she had experienced was an unexplained object. So she was very excited about that. Yeah. So that was my first experience of something.
Yep.
And then when I was probably in my mid-20s, so I'll disclose how old I am here. So
Yep.
in the mid-90s, I saw what we all see as the Cardwell lights. So I saw the two lights going across and then shooting up. And then I also saw them again. It was around 2015, which was actually 2015 was the second year of the UFO Festival, is when I saw those again. But that's about the extent of what I've experienced. I haven't had any sort of contact experience, but I would like to. I think that would be quite quite good. I know, I know there are some people that there's sort of two groups. Some people believe that there are aliens and they're very friendly and they're here to help, and others say that there's the bad and the evil ones that that want to do harm to us. So there's probably both, I would say, because I mean there's good and bad and everything, isn't there?
That's right. There is.
Yeah.
So it sort of makes you wonder too, like, what are the intentions of the good guys and what are the intentions of the bad guys?
Yeah. And I know that there's, and there's also groups of people that say that, there's the aliens are protecting us. They're protecting us from the bad aliens. Yeah. Yep. So it's really interesting to think. It's a bit comforting actually to think that we actually do have another entity or whatever it is that you want to say looking out for us, I think. And then also you've probably heard about how there is a group of aliens that are protecting us from us, but with the nuclear bombs and things like that, they intervene.
I was about to go into actually mention that.
Yeah, and so that's quite comforting as well.
Absolutely. Well, it depends on how true it is too. Like, obviously, like going by the reports and that, like you want to hope that is the case. Like, you want to hope that they're backing us up on this sort of whatever's going on. And that's where I'm sort of hoping that they're going to keep doing the same thing too when it gets close to going to World War III, because like, what good is that going to leave us either way?
Yeah.
So here's hoping they are intervening to that degree.
Isn't it terrible though that you think that there has to be another species intervene?
Yeah, I know, it's horrible,
isn't it?
Yep.
I think the world's quite large enough. And there's enough resources, and the world's large enough for us all just to, kumbaya.
One of the things though, we should be on peace and harmony by now, like after World War II. But another way to go about it is like, other countries don't want the Americans to be the rulers of the world, and they want to have their two bob, and like it's it should be even Stevens,
Yeah. It's hard, isn't it, to I mean, I have no understanding of how it is to rule countries or anything, but you would hope that the leaders are a bit level-headed and a bit sensible.
Well, that's one of the reasons why we sort of hope, like, vote for them, it's so corrupt, though, you don't even know who you're voting for.
Yeah. Although I think people are waking up a bit more and understanding that their vote it's very important. And I actually think the people running for politics now are a different caliber of people as well. I mean, you're always going to have idiots, but I think there are. But I think
you're talking about Bob, aren't you?
Yeah. But I think there are genuine people that are going to try and make things better. I think we've got more of that coming up. Yeah, Bob. I think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, Townsville's.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I've seen some stuff he's had out. He's a bit of a whack job, but
entertaining.
Very entertaining.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, like it is like we are getting a different caliber of generations. Like even like you're saying with second or third generations in your town, and they're sort of getting a lot more open to it. And that's where I sort of feel like we're sort of on that path now. Different generations are sort of getting a lot more giving into today's societies and how things are running about. It's sort of where I don't know, they get the term woke, but I'm going to say like we're waking up to more critical errors that were in the past that were so straight and narrow. Which we are. We're sort of getting a lot more lenient on a lot of things here and there.
Yeah, and I think actually, I know some people get a bit, upset with the youth of today because they are a hell of a lot more confident than when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
But they're not afraid to ask questions, and they're actually, I think it's really quite good that they do ask questions, and they do, think outside the box. then they won't just accept what they're told. And
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, I mean that can be a little difficult when you're working with teenagers.
Yeah, I got my kids there, and I'm trying to tell them something there, and they're like, "No."
Yeah,
It's like, I'm trying to
yeah,
tell you for a reason,
yeah,
kiddo. Like,
yeah. But I think because I've got, well, now he's a 20-year-old and I've got a 16-year-old. But it's really interesting listening to their conversations when they're talking with their mates. Like, I just find that they're actually asking, more relevant. Well, I don't know, maybe I would lived a very sheltered life or something, but they're just asking more relevant questions to life in general. So I think they're much more open to accepting that people do think differently, and you're not just you don't just have to think one way.
yeah.
Mm.
That's the biggest thing on this thing too. Like, a lot of people shun this whole topic and say, "No, it's nothing there." Or
Yeah,
some people are very straight and narrow on their beliefs on this topic.
yeah,
But unfortunately, this sort of topic, you need to be a lot more broader with your mind.
yeah,
Stay critical, but be open minded to the possibilities. Because like either
yeah,
way, no one really knows what the hell is going on. At least not to the public's
exactly.
eye.
Yeah. And
So
one thing that sorry, I'll cut you off there.
no, you're right. You're
One
okay.
thing, one thing that I don't see it a lot, but within the groups, different groups of people that are believers, they have their certain beliefs, and they can differ from each other.
Yeah,
I think it's really important that we all stay respectful of each
absolutely.
other's beliefs, and not ridicule someone else just because it's different to what we think might be happening or what we think people may be seeing or experiencing. Because otherwise, we're no better off than the people that try to make a joke of it.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm.
And so that's what I sort of feel like too. Like when we start bickering between each other, like we're supposed to be working together to try and
Yeah.
bring some sort of disclosure. And then I'm very strict in the way I do things with the podcast and just being analytical on the whole topic itself.
Yeah.
And I'm very strong on evidence. Like, so it needs to have like
Yeah.
time and dates and as much detail as you possibly can.
Yeah.
And if you can try and provide an image, like an image is probably not going to go and help either way
Mm.
because of the classic, it's out of focus. It's it could be a bird or an insect. There's nothing there
Yeah.
that gives it any sort of form of detail to sort of go
Yeah.
and give any credibility saying, "Hey, I've captured a genuine
Yeah.
alien craft
Yeah.
here." But it's like, then like they want to claim that all they want. But it's like, for me, I'm going to say, look, I'm sorry, but you've got something that could either be one, two, or three of these, and I'm not going to
Yeah.
say it's an alien UFO because there's not enough evidence there to go and say it is an alien UFO. And
Exactly.
that's where a lot of people go and jump to the conclusions that they've captured the alien UFO, which then discredits the whole community altogether because they want to go and claim something that isn't,
Yeah. Yeah.
doesn't show the nuts and bolts or some little alien at the window going, "How you going?"
Yeah. And it's no big deal if it's not, is it?
No,
If it's
no,
it's no big deal if what you've seen actually turns out to be something that can be explained. Like
yeah,
there's no issue with that.
no, there shouldn't be.
Mm.
That's
Yeah.
where you just
And
going like, "Oh, bugger, I'll try again next time."
yeah. And one thing that we're doing because like I said, it's our 10th anniversary. So one thing that we're doing is there was a lady up here that lived in Tully, Claire Noble. I think a few of your followers would have heard of her name. She was really really big in, like, whenever there was anyone had experienced anything, you could go to Claire and she would document it. And so when she passed away a few years ago, her family actually gifted us all of her records that she had.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so I've got them here. I'll give you see, it's all handwritten. I don't know if you can
Oh
see.
wow!
So it's books like that, all handwritten. So we've been going through those, and there's she documented everything when someone would come. There's sketches of what people saw, dates and times. But exactly what you said, some of them have so little information.
Yeah,
It's and the reason I started doing it is I was trying to see if there was people had seen the similar thing in the same sort of time, but didn't actually know that the other person had seen.
yeah, cross reference,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And it was interesting with the Cardwell lights one year. There was a family that had seen the Cardwell lights. They're on their balcony on the front of where the beach is there. They saw the lights go over, and they rang me to let me know that they'd seen them. And then there was another family who live up up the back had also seen them, and it was within half an hour of them. But neither party knew that the other one had seen them. So that was really interesting.
That
Yeah.
is great. So I'm just going to
Mm.
I'm going to bring up a bit of a critical analysis here. Like now, a lot of people know Townsville is a bit of a military city.
Yes. Yep.
So can we rule out two fighter jets flying side by side, and you're seeing the afterburners and then ducking up into the atmosphere?
Well, that is we've spoken about that.
Yep.
But what we have, and it's only been handed down,
Yep.
is that these lights have been seen since settlement.
Oh wow! Okay, that far back.
Yeah. So whether or not, and see, this is another thing because it's just sort of word of mouth, handing down. So is it that, oh yes, I remember my grandfather or great grandfather talking about that too, and then someone else going, oh yeah, and he said that someone saw it way back yonder. So there, without sort of real documented evidence of it, that could also just be tall tales.
Yeah.
Of it going back. But you are correct with Townsville being the military, and there is also up near Tully, there is also a training area as well. Yeah, and Tully's only half an hour north of here, so that is a possibility.
Yeah. Look, I'd love for them to actually be like an actual genuine thing there, but like it's one of those things like I hate it because then it looks like makes me look like the bad guy because I'm going, oh no, it's gonna be fighter jets, but that's unfortunately it's one of those things you have to do.
But you're right. We've discussed all that as well.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it could be, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, when you think about it,
rule that out.
Yeah, that's right. But if you go back the decades, you're saying like people have been talking about this for bloody years. I'm not 100% sure when Townsville actually started becoming a military city.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know when they become a military city. Actually, that wouldn't be hard to find out, really. I could find that out.
Yeah. Hang on. So give me a second.
And then I could probably have a look back with all my notes here of when the first, it was first reported of those lights.
Yeah. So there we go. Formed on, hang on. So go look at 1940. So yeah, around about World War II.
Oh yeah. So that's but I'm just wondering, the planes back then, would they have? I don't know.
Well, we didn't have jets around.
Because what it is the lights fly along like parallel with each other, along, and then they both shoot up.
Okay, so they're on point, like from one point and then straight up. Yeah. Okay, so that's definitely going to rule out a fighter jet by all means.
Yeah,
like fighter jets are going to go and do a bit of an arch. And so I'm going to do a bit.
Yeah, if it's going like yeah. Well, that's what I've seen. I've seen too, and that's how people explain them to me as well. But and I'm only going on what I've seen and what people have spoken to me about. So yeah, that's what they see.
Well, that's definitely rules out fighter jet then.
Yeah, and the color I've seen orange, and then I've also seen like a white color. Because first I remember one time I looked and I thought, oh, it's just stars, but then because they were moving, along, and then when they shot up, I was like, no, it's not stars.
Yeah. So is it sort of like what sort of speeds are they doing though? Is it like something slow to start off with, then like sort of zipping off?
Yeah.
Or is it the same speed?
If you just like how my finger's going like that, probably across like that, and then just straight up. Like there's no stopping and going. It's just along and then straight up.
Wow, so it makes you wonder what the hell is out there.
Like very fast.
Yeah. So, do you sort of have an idea of like how far out? This is over the water, isn't it?
What I've seen's been over the water, yeah.
Yep. But it has been climbed to like around the hills there as well?
Actually, no. It's always been out to the ocean.
Okay. So it makes you wonder what's out there.
Yeah. Well, we have a fisherman here who said when it was in daylight, he was fishing up the channel, and he said he saw this massive silver craft come up out of the ocean. That was in the daylight, not at night time. That was
daylight too. Jeez.
Daylight.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I've
that
heard
was
of
in the
reports of
daylight.
people like seeing something in
Mm.
the water at night time there, but it's like a glowing craft
Yeah,
cruising along and that, and
yeah,
but to even see it during the day, like
yeah,
wow,
yeah. That was in the daylight, and he said it was a silver round craft that came out and shot up.
is he a
Yeah,
local still?
yeah, yeah. He doesn't live here anymore, but he was a local at the time. Yeah.
All right, can you try and
Mhm.
track him down? I would love to get his story on this
Yeah,
podcast.
sure, sure. And so this comes to another theory.
Yeah,
And so I haven't really delved much into the whole flat Earth idea of things, but every now and then I sort of have a look. And I had a thought a few months ago. So you know how the flat Earth claims that the Earth is flat, and then we've got the ice wall around,
yep.
and then there's other areas beyond the ice wall. I thought, wouldn't it be interesting? And I think I'll put it up on our Facebook page. Wouldn't it be interesting if these craft aren't coming from the skies? They're actually coming from underneath
Yeah, righto.
and
Yeah,
up
it's a
through the
nice.
ocean. Yeah.
That is intriguing.
Mm, yeah. And then of
Is
course, that's another rabbit hole I went down.
yeah. There's also I think I've seen trying to think where I don't know where it was located, but there's a video there of um what's that guy that did the deep sea source stuff? I can't remember his name now.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know who you mean. Yep.
But I think it was him. He went down in a sub. He went right down, and he came across this area, and it's just a big cloud of soot,
Mm,
and didn't know what was through it. Like it's just like at the bottom of the ocean, just like it's like as if it's a thermal layer just
yep.
sitting there by itself on its own. Is that a gateway into
Yeah.
where you're saying? And like, that's just like
Mm,
there's another one of those things like he's like, wow, where am I going now with this? Like,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and
And
then you
actually,
start looking.
it got a bit too much. Like I was thinking, I was sort of going over this idea, and then I thought, oh, this is a little bit too much for my brain. Actually, like, it's a bit much.
It is. It's like, then you start going everywhere else. And you're like, I'm looking over here now, looking over here. Like, well, maybe
Yeah.
these flat earthers are sort of onto
Mm.
something here. Like,
Yeah.
like, are we
Yeah.
being lied
Yeah.
to? And it's like,
The only thing with and I mean, it might just be an experience I've had with particular flat Earth. And I hate calling them flat earthers. I don't like it. Feels a bit derogatory. Like,
it
um,
does.
but the people that I've spoken to are a little angry.
Why? Because they're getting a
Well,
stigma about themselves, or
I don't know, because I asked. I just happened to ask. Could they explain? What the flat Earth is all about. And I was told to go and do my own research, you globehead.
oh
Like,
wow,
oh, okay. I thought, all right, I might find another group of flat earthers to to
yeah,
communicate with. Yeah, yeah.
jeez,
It was an interesting response. So I thought, well, this
yeah,
is my research. I'm asking you.
yeah, asking questions here.
Yeah,
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 it's sort of like the bit of the UFO community too, like people ask
mm,
questions there, and some people get a bit defensive or angry, and
yeah,
start
yeah,
questioning why you here, and it's like well, we're all here to try and find the right answers, or the same
yeah,
answers or something.
yeah, yeah.
Some people
And that's
are asking
yeah.
curiosity, not as a stab at you kind of thing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, and that's with our C Files forum. So, the forum is like C Files is a take on X Files. That's
okay.
how we come up with C Files. Cardwell, and also Claire Noble for the C. Yeah, and so one thing that we really instill when people come into the forum as audience members is that it is a place for no ridicule,
Yeah,
and it is a place just to listen and listen to the different experiences and ideas that people have. Yeah, so it's a safe place for people to come, because we also do some networking afterwards where people can mingle and talk to each other and share their experiences. So we're very big on that it has to be, if you're going to be coming in as an audience member, don't be coming in to be heckling or having a go at
yeah,
people. Yeah,
absolutely. Look, the respect should be everywhere
yeah,
in this, like, regardless of if you think the topic is voodoo or if you
yeah,
think it's
yeah,
bullshit or what. It doesn't matter. Like the respect should
mm,
be either way, all the way around.
yeah,
And because some people have had some incredible experiences there that sort of do rock their world, like to the point where
yes,
they
yeah.
it can be very traumatic in
Mm,
a degree.
yeah,
So that's where I'm like, so I feel like, approach it carefully, but approach it respectfully, like you're saying. Like,
yeah,
it needs to be respect is demanded.
yes, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Mm.
So, but yeah, that's one. So, not to try and give too much away. Like, what sort of a lineup do you have this year at the festival?
Well, we've got. I'll just get the website up. We have got. I've listed a couple of the, well, five, I think, of the speakers that we have coming, and we've got
Yep,
some more that I'll be sort of drip feeding up there. I'll
yep.
just get back into here, and so we've got Ben Hurl's going to be emceeing for us.
Yep,
So
nice.
you know Ben
I've
from
know the
Victoria.
name.
Yeah,
Yes, yeah,
from
I
the
think I know the
Victorian
name.
US.
Yep.
Yeah, so he's going to MC the forum for us, which is great.
Oh, wonderful.
We've got Stephen and Evan Strong, so they're going to be
Oh, yep,
talking about the ancient aliens, Australian ancient aliens.
yep.
Then we've got from Townsville, we've got Paul and Cyan. They're going to be talking about. They do quite a lot of work with connection,
Yeah,
and
yep, I've spoken to them before.
yep, you've spoken to them. Yep.
Yep.
Then we've got Peter. I hope I'm pronouncing his surname
Don't you dare
correctly.
say Maxwell.
No,
Oh.
Corey. Yeah.
That's right, no, that's right.
No. So he is bringing with him. He had some alien hair DNA tested.
Oh, he, worked with Bill Chalker, did he?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
no, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's coming up and he's going to be talking about that.
Ah, wonderful.
And
Yeah,
also his experiences. Yeah.
yep.
Yep. And then we've got Cheryl Gotchell. She's,
Oh,
Cheryl.
no, they don't. She's
Yeah.
Queensland,
Yeah, she's the
UFO
Queensland
researcher,
UFO research. Yep. So she'll be coming up. And then we've also got Dr. Gemma Reagan. So she's going to be coming up and talking about, working through the experience, when you encounter an experience. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and then we've got a few others that I'll be putting up probably next week. We'll sort of drip feed it in. But yeah, it's shaping up to be a good 2-day forum.
That sounds wonderful. That's actually
Yeah.
a really good lineup. Got some very
Yeah.
interesting people there.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I forgot. We've got Susie Hanson from New Zealand coming over as well.
Okay, the brand
So
name doesn't
she,
ring a bell, but
yeah,
awesome.
so she's in Australia at the moment. Oh no. She'll be doing the Brisbane circuit before she comes up. So she's flying up with Cheryl. Yeah. Yeah. So that's I think, and that's what I'd really like to get. Any of the Yowie boys.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Because we've actually had some people say that they have seen yowies up in the hills up the back here, some old
Yep.
timber cutters. We've got some stories from those guys, and also some younger guys, pig hunters and things that have. There's one story where a young pig hunter was out and he heard this incredible scream, and then his pig hunting dogs, come screeching back to the car. And if anyone knows about pig dogs, they're not too scared of anything. And they
Yep.
come back with the tail between their legs, and they just jumped into the ute, and they weren't getting out.
Something's
So
out there, eh?
yeah, and one of the guys who regularly pig hunts with this particular guy, he said he saw an actual yowie run across the road in front of him.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
So,
amazing. Like it sort of makes you wonder too. Like, is there a connection between this whole UFO, Yowie, paranormal? Like, what's the
Yeah.
connection here? Why is there so much secrecy behind
Yeah.
whatever these things are? Like, why does it have to be such a taboo sort of
Yeah.
topic to try and uncover?
Yeah.
When there's,
Yeah.
like I mentioned before, there's like so much evidence of people seeing these things.
Yeah. I don't understand. I don't understand why there is. But I guess it's because we're interested in it. We don't understand why they're. We want the answers.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But also too, like I suppose if Yowies did sort of come forward, like
Mm.
being humans, we'd hunt them down
Well,
and use
exactly.
for trophies and hunt them down
Yeah.
as game.
Yeah.
But then the thing is though, like these things are coming across as intelligent,
Mm.
and so then I'm pretty sure if something's intelligent, we're not going to go and sort of
Yeah.
go all in
Well,
guns blazing,
it depends. I guess it depends. How does the contact happen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how are they going? Like, I don't know if they wanted to contact us, and and make themselves be known. Who would they do that to? Like, who would they trust to
Well, I sort of figure it would be the locals. Like you look at the Aboriginals, like
Mm.
that. You think
Yeah,
they'd sort of be mingling in with them,
yeah.
but yet
Well, see
even
that.
they are saying that they had. Well, some people I think they claim that they did have some sort of interactions, but it's still
Yeah,
they're a mythological creature to them as well.
yeah, and because we have some local Indigenous stories around here with the Yowies, and I know one of the tribes here. I think it's more down Ingham way. They don't see Yowies as good; they see them as bad. So yeah, I'm not
Okay.
I'm not really sure. Yeah, so maybe there was conflict or something.
Yeah, I'm thinking of bad
You know?
history as well. But
Mm,
even
mm.
so, like if before we saw England come over to colonize over
Yeah,
here and whatever, you sort of think like if the Yowies were you know intelligent and whatever whatever we
mm,
saw them coming to be, you'd think they would have been mingling with the Aboriginals
yeah,
as is, and then like they're I know we did horrible things to the Aboriginals, but I'm not going to get
yeah,
diving into that. But either way, we still would have worked out a way to sort of
yeah,
interact with these creatures or
and
beings, and it would have been a
yeah,
society today, basically.
and also, wouldn't you have thought? Let's just say, we'll go back, the 200 whatever years, and the settlers were here, and obviously, invading and doing what they were doing. You would think that the Yowies would help protect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, if they might have
mm,
for all we know, but just never
yeah,
got
yeah,
put down into the stories.
yeah. But maybe Yowies have never been in big numbers. Maybe they're a species that don't have big numbers.
Yeah, but they
Yeah,
seem very scattered though. Like,
yeah, yeah.
so it sort of makes you wonder why so scattered and why is there
Mm.
no real what do you call it, like a
Like a
tribes
community.
or a community?
Yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah,
a community sort of thing. Yeah,
yeah,
like they always seem to
yeah.
be living off the land or just like
Mm.
a creature, but it's like somewhat intelligent, like but
Yeah,
not to
and,
the degree of
and
what we can.
well, that's what I think. I sort of can't quite work out how, if they're such in such small numbers, how are they still here?
Yeah,
Which is something I can't understand, unless
that's
they
right.
live
But
for hundreds of years. I don't know.
yeah, and
Mm.
well, they can blend in very well apparently and disappear
Yeah,
and when they
yeah. Well,
need to.
maybe
So
there's more than what you think. Yeah, but I know because we often go bushwalking up the back here. And my father has passed now, but he used to be a timber cutter. And he said that there was always, times in the bush that you felt something was watching you.
yeah,
And there's times where we have been walking up in the bush, and you just can feel it, that there is something with eyes upon you. Mm.
yeah, definitely. I got Michelle in the comments here is saying if Earth is a prison planet, maybe the Yowie Bigfoots are prison guards. It's
Oh, they
one
could
way to look
be.
at it.
They could be keeping us in line, keeping an eye on
Absolutely.
us.
Yeah, well, very well, could be. This could be
Yeah,
same with these alien beings or the UFOs sort of thing. They're
yeah,
probably guards as well. Don't get
yeah,
too far ahead of yourselves, guys. We're still here looking after you.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
It makes you wonder.
yeah. Uh, and then the other thing too, as I suppose you've probably heard, is like that we're just an experiment.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I'm sort of along the lines of like we're an alien ant farm,
yeah,
just
yeah,
being observed and
yeah.
abducted
A
whenever
school
willy nilly.
project.
Yep.
We could-
Oh, wouldn't that be nice? Like some
yeah,
school kids' bloody project that's kept going for how
yeah,
many years?
yeah. Isn't that funny? That'd knock a few egos around, wouldn't it?
Oh,
We're
wouldn't
just
it?
a school
What?
project.
Yeah. Oh, bugger.
Yeah,
It's puts a
yeah,
damper on why we're here, isn't it? It's like, why are we
yeah,
here? Yeah, school project.
mm, yeah.
Cool. So, like, all right. So you're the guest speakers there, but I know you do a lot of other things on the outside there of,
Oh, yeah, yeah. So do you want a brief, like an outline of what the
yeah,
festival is
absolutely. Yeah,
for the
give us a
weekend?
rundown
Yeah,
of like this,
yep.
what you got.
Okay, so because it's our 10th year, we're trying to really, put a big one on.
Yep.
So we're going to actually open the festival on the Thursday night with an art exhibition. And I mentioned before, we've got Cyan from Townsville coming up. So she also is an artist as well. So we're opening the festival on the Thursday night with an art exhibition of hers. And that'll
Nice.
be in the community hall, which is where the Sea Files Forum will be held. And then on the Friday, we've got the guys coming up with the ancient aliens. So we're hoping to have a display in the museum. So that'll start on the Friday and run through the whole weekend. And then I've got we're not quite sure if we've got something happening Friday night. We've just got to make sure. I won't say what that is yet, but we might have something interesting happening on the Friday night. And then on the Saturday and Sunday, we've got our local tours that are going to be going around, taking people to all the different points of interest around the town where things have been seen. And of course, we've got our Seafiles Forum on the Saturday and Sunday. And then, so that sort of covers for the people with a genuine interest in the unexplained. And then we've got the fun and quirky, because we all like to have a bit of a party. So
Yeah,
we've got, on the Saturday night, we've got our foreshore party, which we've got a live band, a bar, a dress-up costume. We've got an adult's dress-up costume and a children's costume party as well. So the kids are going to have their very own little karaoke concert down
awesome.
there. And then we're going to follow with the big people's concert. So so that'll be, and we'll have food vendors and a whole heap of different stuff going on down there. And then we'll finish off the weekend on Sunday with a big market day along the foreshore, just to sort
wonderful.
to finish it off. So hopefully that will keep everyone entertained for the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds absolutely awesome and very entertaining. I wish I could make it, to be honest. It's a weekend I've always wanted to try and get up there to. It's going to be awesome, and I'm really intrigued on the efforts of the people that go into when they're doing these costumes.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah. So, and some of the mums, they outdo themselves with the children's costumes. They must work on them for months.
Prepping them up.
Amazing.
There's a lot of resources online now where you can just get things ordered in. It's like, get some really good, like, what do you call them? The rubber ones. Get the masks and that. And I'm trying to think what are they called now?
The latexy things.
Yeah, latex. That's the one.
Mm.
They look unreal too. Like could you imagine someone walking around with one of those things on their heads? That you'd be thinking, are you real or are you a person dressed up? I'm sort of.
And we've got lots of little different things. A couple of years ago, we did like a treasure hunt type of thing around town. So we'll probably introduce that again. And we've got a very talented seamstress here, and she's going to help us. We started it last year, and we're going to continue it this year. As the children actually will send in a drawing of what they believe aliens look like, and then we'll turn those into a toy for them, into a plush toy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So the kids will get their very own alien.
Oh, that is awesome. Wow, that is really cool.
Yeah, we've got lots of different things that we're just trying to just beef the weekend up with.
Yeah, I'm going to send you one of my drawings there, get that turned into a plush toy.
Yeah, get it turned into a toy, yeah.
That is awesome. It sounds like very resourceful, and like it just seems like an absolute awesome weekend. And I should probably mention too, like I'm sure everyone's heard of the flight company now, Bonza. So you can get cheap flights from wherever you are now to Townsville or Cairns.
Definitely Townsville, I'm sure. I'm sure it's Townsville. I'm not sure if they're into Cairns yet, but it is Townsville. Yeah.
Yep. So I think you can probably get yourself up there for about $100 at the moment. Because cheap as chips, which is great for a flight. So if people want to try and get up there for a cheap weekend. But what about accommodation wise? Like, is accommodation easy to get to, or what's?
The accommodation is all in town, so there's no problem. And the town's very small. Like we don't have any taxi service or Ubers, but it is a very small town, and there's walking distance is fine. Yes. But we do have a courtesy bus on the Saturday night. If you've been having a few too many drinks, we will deliver you back to your door.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so accommodation, we've got motels, villas, we've got caravan parks, and we're also, there's a lot of Airbnbs as well in Cardwell, and we're also trying to work out for the overflow camping and caravaning once the caravan parks are full, to get everyone over to the sports field. So that's just for the overflow. So we're really hoping that the town's going to be packed out.
Yeah, it should work out really well then.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Like, thinking of all different outcomes there to try and hopefully accommodate everyone to come and visit.
Yeah.
And because it's only like from memory, it's 2 hours, 2.5 hours from Townsville.
About 2.5 hours. Yeah. As long as there's no roadworks, 2.5 hours.
Give or take. Yep.
Yeah.
So it sort of makes you wonder, like, if they can't get accommodation in Cardwell, then I'm sure they can probably try and get accommodation.
Yeah, well, we've got Tully is only half an hour north of us, or Ingham's half an hour south of us. Mission Beach is an hour north of us. So the little towns outside, there's plenty of accommodation as well.
Yep, no, that's awesome. That's great. Yep. It's just people want to freak out, go, oh no, I didn't try and get in now, and it's like, oh no, this place is booked down. It's like,
if anyone is having trouble in getting accommodation, just get onto our website and fill out the contact form, and just let us know you're having trouble with accommodation, and we will do our best to try and find you somewhere.
No, that's awesome. That's great.
Yeah, and if anyone has any questions, just use that contact form on the website. Just send through whatever you want.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's fantastic. Like I was saying, like you're looking at all different aspects here to try and hopefully accommodate for everyone, which is great.
We just want everyone to have a really good time while they're here.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, well, I think they're gonna have a good time regardless. But
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't recommend if you're having a big night on that Saturday night to pass out on the beach because you might go missing.
No, do not sleep on the beach. We have a couple of resident crocodiles that are very, very protective of their area. So do not go on the beach.
Yeah.
When the tide's up, don't go on the beach. When the tide's out, it's okay. But especially nighttime, don't go on the beach.
Yeah, that's like I think it should be pretty common knowledge for everyone who's like in northern Queensland or central Queensland, anywhere north of Rocky. You pretty well should be pretty well croc aware.
Yeah. We do have the big guys floating back and forth most of the days. You can see them out there.
Yep, no, that's awesome. There's a bit of wildlife.
And we do. If anyone's interested in fishing while they're here, we have a couple of great fishing. Guys that can take people out fishing or
charters. Awesome.
Yeah, charter boats and stuff. So there's lots of stuff to do.
Oh, that's awesome. So you got, let's sort of advertise the area a bit better. Like, I don't know. So we've got the rock pools up the back there behind you, which is absolutely wonderful.
Yep.
And so we've also Blue Lagoon. Is it Blue Lagoon?
It's called the Spa Pool. We call it the Spa Pool.
The Spa Pool. There's another one not far from you guys. I think it's like the Blue, creek. Is one of the creeks. There's like a different color to the rest of the other water.
Oh yeah. So the Spa Pools has at different times it can be like a sapphire blue or an emerald green or a milky blue, depending on what's happening with the water flow. Yep. Then we've got Addy Creek Falls, and sometimes that is a beautiful emerald green. That could be the one you're thinking of. Or we've got 5 Mile Swimming Hole, which is just 5 miles south of Cardwell, and that's always freshly running. And then we've got Murray Falls, which is an hour drive. We've had some unbelievable nature experiences here. So if you're into bushwalking and also bring your mountain bike if you're into mountain biking, because the track should be, we've got some tracks up there, unofficial tracks at the moment, but people can still ride them. And then of course, if you want to go fishing, we've got the creeks and up the channel so it's we've got a lot to do.
That's awesome. That keeps people busy. And any caves? I think so. I've got Michelle here asking for if there's any caves. I think there's.
We do have north of Cardwell. There is what is it? That's quite a few hours north of Cardwell though. The lava tubes and things like that. I'm just trying to think. There's some bushwalks. I think just south of here near Ingham that have some caves that you can go and have a look at. Because
I know there's some out west of Townsville as well as some lava tubes out
there.
But
if anyone has any questions like that, just flick us through just use the contact form on the website. And we're happy to talk about anything for the town. It doesn't just have to be UFOs and aliens. So if you want to know more about anything to see and do here, we're more than happy to help.
Yeah. Oh, look, honestly, like I was saying before, it's a wonderful little town to go through. Like you wouldn't expect this place to have the attraction that it does.
Yeah.
It's just it's quite a little town. Like it takes you literally 3 minutes to go through from one end to the other.
If that. Although they have the speed limit's reduced to 50 now, so yes, it could take.
They're trying to hold you back a little bit now. So put down 20 k's. I'll stay here a bit longer.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and while you're here, you have to make sure if you're into seafood to have a crab sandwich, a mud crab sandwich.
Do it.
Yeah.
That'd be beautiful up there too, nice and fresh. The waters up there are beautiful.
Yeah, lovely. Imagine. Yeah,
I'll definitely give it a try. Look, I've got some family in Townsville there, so I'm definitely going to be coming up at some point. Checking it out when we're available. So that's awesome.
If you are coming up this way, it doesn't have to be for the festival. If you're coming up, we can take you a drive around where all these different things have been seen.
Yeah, that sounds good. Actually, I'll take you up on that.
Yeah. So if you're coming up, just get in contact and we'll take you around it. We'll give you a private tour.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
VIP. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's the one. VIP tour. Yep.
That's awesome. Well, look, is there any more you sort of want to add to the?
No, I think that's it.
Just in the town festival?
If anyone's interested, just keep an eye. While I am this weekend, I'll be updating the. I've put those speakers on, and then I've just got to update because I've got a few things on there from last year on the website. So we've just got to update, get all that, and I'll hopefully have that done by the weekend.
Yep.
And then if there is anything in particular people are interested in that they'd like to see at the festival, also just let us know and we'll try and accommodate.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds good. So, like, where can people sort of get in touch with you? Where can they find you to reach out?
Yeah, so we've got the website, we've got the Cardwell UFO Festival Facebook page. So they're
Yep.
the main things where we put information up, or they can email us on info@cardwellufofestival.com.au. Or if you want to give me a call, I'm happy to give my phone number out.
Yep.
It's 0. I've got to know my own phone number. 0447, so 0447 660 248. Yeah, and if I don't answer, just make sure you leave a message or a text message, and I'll get straight back to you because I'm a bit busy in meetings and things. So
Yeah, that's all right. We've also got lives outside these festivals and what we do, and so so hopefully people can be understanding of that. But that's awesome. I'll put the details in the show notes anyway, so people can go and track you down in that. And yeah, hopefully a lot of people here get some interest in and go, right, we're coming up. Hang on tight, we're holding to your hats because we're coming.
Yeah,
Bring
and
it on.
we'd love to see as many people here as possible.
Yeah. Have you thought about trying to organise maybe some transport from Townsville to get up to the Cardwell?
Yeah, we have. We looked at doing that one year, but there wasn't a lot of uptake on it. So if that is something that people are interested in, just let us know, and we will do our best to try and organise that, because we do have a few different bus charter companies in the area, not necessarily in Cardwell, but in towns close by. But if we can help in any way to get people here, we will.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking, like, if I think the flights should be all arriving at the same time there, and if there's like a batch on those certain days, I think they only travel up to Townsville on like Wednesdays and Fridays or something. Don't quote me on that one, but you got those days there where they can try and get you on the Friday, which is smack bang ready for the weekend. Enough people there to at least get a bus organised to try and
So if we do have enough people, we will most definitely try and work out a bus. And if we can fill that bus, obviously it will depend on like if people are happy to pay the cost of whatever it is. But the bus companies up here, they're pretty generous, when it comes to helping out things like like festivals and organisations and stuff. They're quite generous. So if we do have enough interest, we will definitely move forward with something like that.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds great. That's awesome. Because like all I can say is like the more people, the better for you guys there to go and really take advantage of this. The only UFO festival in Australia.
That's it. That's it.
Jump in on it and get on it. That's absolutely wonderful. So look, if you got anything more to add there, we'll
no, I think we've covered. I think we've covered everything.
Yep. If anyone's got some questions in the comments that they want to sort of ask quickly before we go, give you a bit of a few seconds of leeway there. And but so like over the years, I'm sure you would have heard some amazing stories from people. Like, do people just come up to you from the streets and go, "Hey, like UFO stuff, like what's it all about?" Like, or do they come up with their own stories as well? Like, what's the sort of vibe you get when people come through the town? Because like, I know you got signs there for about UFO festivals and that.
It's really interesting because most people. Because I actually work in the information centre as well. That's my day job.
Oh, that's awesome.
In the information. Yeah. So
that's
we have
convenient.
people coming through, and of course I've got the posters up, for the festival, and they ask, what's all this about, blah blah. And most people who actually ask about the festival either have a story to tell you about something they've experienced, or someone that they know has experienced something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's usually when you get, when people will ask about the festival, 9 times out of 10, they will actually have a story to talk about. So I think there's far more people that have experienced things than actually come forward.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of people hiding stories there that are too scared to sort of bring it out, or just don't think it's real, and they just think like, nah, or they forget.
Yeah. Or probably, I guess also for some people, if they acknowledge what they saw or heard or whatever it happens to be, then I guess you have to ask the question, why? Like, what was it? Why did I see this? And then they might not be ready to get, to go that far.
Yeah, that's fair enough too. Like, it's a big step and a big leap, to try and, trying to think where I'm going now. Like to overcome what you've seen, it's like
Yes.
you question reality
Yeah.
and everything that you've grown up with.
Yeah.
So it's either way, it's one of those things that sort of really need to be start opening up more, and which we are getting that way. But I've got Michelle here. She's asked about the festival tours
Mhm.
being sold out. Is that something like I know we talked about this before we came on the air? There, you mentioned that they did get sold out there.
They sold out last year very quickly.
Yep.
So will be putting those up probably. I want to get them up sooner than later onto the website, because then if they sell out, then we'll know to put some more tours on. Because we really want to, give everyone what they want. So they did sell out very, very quickly. So because where we go, we have to have a smaller bus, so we can only have 10 people on the bus at a time.
Yep.
So we can't have one of those big, big, I don't know what they are, 36
Coaches.
seats, whatever they are. Yeah, because of the terrain that we're going through, we have to have the smaller buses. So so we've just got to, like, the logistics of getting more buses, more tour guides, more drivers. So
Yeah.
so we've
That'd be
just
the hardest thing too for you guys, like the tour guides. Like people would have to know what they're sort of talking about, and
So we have to actually they go on a particular route, but we have to sit down with them and explain to them, what it is that has been seen here, and they have to understand when it's been seen, the people that experienced it and things like that. And obviously our tour guides are people that have the same interests as
Yep.
what we do. And also it's not just about what the bus tour goes around all the different terrain, up the back, like the spa pools, the rock pools and things that we were talking about.
Yep.
So we also highlight and showcase the town as well.
Yeah,
So
okay,
people,
okay.
so people can get a real understanding of the nature that we have around us. We are very, very lucky here in Cardwell to have everything that we do. We have the beautiful mountains and freshwater creeks up the back, and then we have the spectacular, Hinchinbrook Island and the fishing and the reef not too far away. So we're very lucky to
Yeah,
be
it's a
where we
mint little
are.
spot. It really is.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So no, that's all good. So another one here. Lots of reports of orbs being seen around the world recently. Any local sightings? We did mention that Grant, regards to the Cardwell lights. Been I guess you could call them orbs.
Well, we have had a couple of, and it hasn't been for quite some years now. We've actually got on the tour. We take people to a place where an orb was seen, sort of at head level, by these workers who are working
Yep.
in the forestry. And one of the women that were working, she actually took a photograph of it. So we've
Yeah,
got that.
right.
Yeah.
I think I remember seeing something about that now. Actually, I think it's sort of.
Mm.
I think you might have
Yeah.
posted it up.
Yeah, that was quite a few years ago, and
Yep.
I don't know of anyone else that has seen that since. And before that, it was decades before that there was been orbs have been mentioned. So it's not really a regular thing here.
Yep.
So I'm not sure what the question was, whether it was the orbs, like the ground level orbs, or the lights in the sky.
Yeah, sort of we're just saying lots of reports being seen around the world recently, any local sightings. So, orbs are being
Okay.
seen everywhere, but to define what the orb is,
Yeah,
it could,
yeah.
to some, an orb could be, because of like, lights
Or the
around.
paranormal, like orbs, where people say that there's
Well,
a
it could be
spirit.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. But like I was saying, like, people could be mistaking them as a light in the sky, like a star or a plane in the sky or something, because something, the orb is shaped anyway from a distance. Yeah.
Did you see there was a Facebook post a little while ago? It was quite funny. The person was quite comical, and they put a photograph up, and they said that they were cheering and thinking, yes, it's finally happening. They're coming, and it was the Starlink satellites all in a row.
Oh, yes, I know. That's a classic one. That one always gets everyone who doesn't know what they are. Everyone's like,
Oh, that was
"Oh,
fantastic.
it's calm down. It's just a satellite
Yeah,
from
it was.
Elon Musk."
Whoever put it up, it was they were having a laugh at themselves. It was really well worded, the post that they put up with the photograph. Yeah, it was really good.
There's some weird stuff there, like, and as much as I hate to admit, a lot of stuff does get misidentified out there, but there are a
Yeah,
lot of people out there seeing some genuine stuff that just questions everything,
yeah, yeah,
which is great. So we need those people
yeah.
to come out and tell us their stories, and and
Yeah.
go to the Cardwell Festival there and go and tell their story.
That's it. Yeah, and that's what we want. We want people to come along and tell us. And did I mention the book that we're doing?
No.
Did I mention? Oh,
No?
so we've got the notes from Claire Noble from all some back in the 1920s. So what we've done is we've gone through them all, and we're actually compiling it into a book that we'll be selling at the festival as
Okay,
well.
wow.
So
That's awesome.
yeah, yeah. So it's all the, and what we've done is we've contacted as many people as we could. Some people are happy to have their names put to the encounters, other people aren't. So what we've decided to do is that they're actually all going to be anonymous. We're not actually going to have the names of the people. And I guess if there's someone, people read their own encounters on there and they're happy to tell people that that's their encounter, that's fine. Because the majority of the people that we did contact said that they didn't want their name put in the book. So we're just respecting that. But it is actually, it's from the earliest one was in 1920 that was documented. So yeah, there's some interesting ones there. There's some that are very similar. And there's a lot of activity in the 60s.
Yeah, what's with the 60s?
Yeah, I don't know. There was a lot of activity in the 60s.
Well, I know there's a lot of experimenting with some substances back in the 60s, but not everyone was on the substances
No.
back then. So it
Yeah.
depends on what they're seeing. I guess it
Yeah.
really raise the question of what are these people seeing?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. But so that's so that we're sort of bringing that out because it's our 10th year. So
Yeah.
so we thought we'd bring that out. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. One thing idea I sort of thought of. I'm not sure if you actually do it or not, but do you actually have a dedicated time there where people can actually stand up in front of others and talk about their experiences at all?
Yep. So that's our open mic session that we'll have at the end of
Oh,
each.
that's right. Yep.
Yep. So we'll have that at the end of each day at the forum. So yeah, if people want to get up and talk openly to the crowd, or the audience within the forum of what they've experienced, they can do that, or they can hang around for the networking. It's just an informal. Everyone just grabs a cup of coffee, or and has a chat with each other.
Yeah, the spotlight's not on them, so they can be a bit more relaxed. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's understandable, which is great. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's all right. Well, look, I don't think there's much more I can really add to this, except for people
Okay.
go and check out the website there, get on the Facebook page that you got there
Mm.
provided. If they want to get in contact with you, I'll put it in the show notes there with the email and the phone number.
Yeah.
And basically, it's up to themselves if they want to try and get up there. As I mentioned, got some flights that should be pretty cheap to get from wherever you are. They have to go all the way from Melbourne up to here, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
So it's like the eastern side, I should say, like eastern side of Australia should be pretty well set
Yeah.
up to get up there. So
Yep.
by all means, guys, get yourselves up there and go and enjoy a wonderful weekend in Cardwell.
Yep. And just contact us if there's anything that you think you need help with in getting here. We will do our best to help everyone out.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Well, Thea, thank you very much for that tonight, and it's going to be a great weekend. So I can't think of enough of coming on, and I hope all the best for the future of the Cardwell Festival. It's going to be fantastic.
Thanks very much, Anthony.
No worries, thank you very much. All right, I'll get to you in a minute there, and I'll just going to go click a few little buttons here and there, and do that one there. Right, guys, thanks very much for that. Let's do a few little shout outs here as I go through the comments here, and it's great seeing Jane, baby. I don't know, baby. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. We've been in contact for a while now, and I don't know how to pronounce your last name. So sorry about that, Jane. Good, Jane. Good, MB. I know you come back a lot. It's Michelle Pratt, thanks for coming back again. Bria. Not sure I'm going to pronounce that one, but g'day. Thanks for joining us. We also have some Facebook users there. Must be coming from the Australian UFO sightings page there. Sorry, guys, I can't see your names there because it's a private site. You do need to click that little bit of a link on the top there in the top of the comments there to go and allow StreamYard to show your details in the streams. G'day again there, Joanne, Aussie Sue. G'day. We got Nick. Who else we got there going through? Chrissy Smith. Christopher. I doesn't say Chrissy. It's a girly name. G'day, Christopher. How you going, mate? What do we got? Sorry, I'm still doing the shit outs through here, so calm down, guys. I'm getting through it. A lot of comments tonight. It's actually fantastic. Got Grant there. G'day, Kate. If you don't know who Kate is, he Believe podcast guru there. He sort of helped get me into this sort of topic here. It's great to see you there. Um, what else we got there? That'll do it. I think that's it. Yeah, it's got everyone. Look, guys, I'll end it for tonight. So thank you very much for having joining me tonight. It's absolutely wonderful. Don't forget to go and share the podcast out wherever you're listening to. Share it to wherever you think it's relevant to friends, family. If you have had an experience there, feel free to get in contact with me, and we'll have a chat and get you on the podcast here. And be absolutely great to get your story out there and get out there worldwide. Also, don't forget, do have the online store there. Get some awesome merchandise there. And I think that's about me. Make sure to like, subscribe, and do whatever you got to do this thing and help us get out there a bit more. And it's absolutely wonderful, guys. I can't thank you enough for joining me tonight and getting in the comments. It's awesome. And just thank you in general for supporting the podcast. Thank you again. But yeah, guys, I think that's going to do it for me tonight. And all the best. Don't forget, go and if you want to get in this Cardwell Festival there, you can wherever you are, try and get there as best you can. I think I got Michelle there asking about Adelaide. I'm not sure flight wise from Adelaide. You might have to do a few skips and jumps here and there at different airports, but I'm sure you'll be able to work that out and you're in there because it's going to be an awesome weekend. So anyway, guys, look, I'm gonna love yous and leave yous, and all the best, and I'll see you on the next live stream. See you later, guys. Hooroo. Catch us.